Hello, you wonderful air sign person, you. Welcome to your Autumn Equinox energy update with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me or check out my brand new website, you can do so on the website address below. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So as many of you know, I am a sun sign Aquarius. So this is relevant for me as well. Now, remember, whenever I do any of my readings for the signs, I'm always tapping into the overall energy of the sign. So this will be for your sun, your moon, or your rising. And it, hopefully it resonates. But if it doesn't, that works for me too, Can't win them all, as they say. So I would usually do a destiny and direction card for this kind of reading, but I've changed it up just because we've got that Mars retrograde that's going to define a lot of the autumn. So I've changed it slightly and hopefully it works for you. So your first card out is going to be where your energies are best spent at this moment in time. For you, Libra, you've got the High Priestess. There's two things that come to mind. The first one, your energies are going to be best spent working on developing your intuition, listening to that innate part of you that knows what you're supposed to be doing, where you're supposed to be going, or maybe what you're not supposed to be doing that you are. This is about taking time to really delve into that intuitive energy that you have, and we all have it, right? Maybe your sign isn't necessarily known for intuition, but every human being has intuition, and this is about you finding a way to develop that. Your energies are best spent on that at this moment in time throughout the autumn. The other thing that comes through with this as well, because she's about hidden things revealed, right? The energy that I get from this though is it's about you revealing some aspect of yourself. This is about something that you may have been holding on to for a very long time, maybe something that you've never spoken to somebody about, and now you feel ready. Now you're ready to divulge this part of you, this aspect of you. And the feeling that I get from it is something that's very personal to you. So this isn't it's not about like a salacious secret. Maybe it is, who knows? Right, but I don't feel like it's like a sensation thing, like a sensational kind of energy. I think it's more a case of there's something about you that you have maybe been dealing with, working on, struggling with for quite some time that you've never really spoken about, and sometimes that's the case. People think, when somebody meets us, they're like, something's off about you, but they never really like to say. And then one day you say to them, oh, by the way, at that time I was going through this and this, and they're like, ah, okay, it makes a lot of sense. Do you know what I mean? And this is a perfect example of that. So I feel like this time you are going to be finding the courage to divulge something about yourself. And it's interesting that you got the High Priestess, the lady of the two columns or the two pillars, right? Because this is your equinox after all. When the sun moves into Libra, this is what we're talking about. And then we turn into this darker half of the year, so to speak, and all the rest of it. I mean, we're already in it, but you kind of get my point. So yeah, very, very interesting that this comes up here for you. For your next card out, this is about what you need to release in order to make this a reality for you. All right, and you've got the Fool card, right? So letting go of literally yourself being the fool. This is about taking ownership. It's about you letting go of this idea that you can leave it to chance, or that somebody will just naturally know what it is that you need, or know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, or where it is that you're supposed to be going. I think it's one of those things as well, especially for people that have been through some kind of trauma. And I kind of feel like this, it might be something along those lines. Those of us that have been through some kind of trauma, we tend to feel like it's written on our foreheads. So it's like everybody, they just look at you and they know. That's not the case. It really isn't. And so there's a part of you that's having to let go of this idea that somebody will just get it. They won't unless you tell them. Leaving it up to chance, leaving it up to luck, or leaving it up to somebody else to figure out is not the best way forward for you at this moment in time. And then finally, whatever risk you are planning to take, and it looks like something that you're planning to do on your own, especially if it's some form of travel, it's a no, it's a no, it's a no. Throughout this autumn season, if there is some journey that you're planning to take on your own, this Fool card as what you're releasing is an absolute no for me. I'm sorry to say that, but this is the energy that comes up. For my wonderful sun sign brothers and sisters, my fellow Aquarians, you have the Ace of Wands. Your energies are best spent writing, creating, doing, working on your physical self, actioning your ideas. This is about, you know, and obviously Mars retrograde is going to be here for all of us. It's going to affect us all in some way, shape or form, and all in a different way or a different aspect. What that is trying to teach us, that whole transit is trying to teach us, is to use our energy effectively, but to use it, it's like damming a river. When you dam the river, you can use that consistent stream of energy, whereas if you just open the floodgates, you get one burst and that's it. So this is asking you to really think about this, right? It's asking you to really put that kind of energy in, and to think long and hard about it, you know, to find a way to action your energy, action your ideas, to marshal your inner resources to move towards the things that you want to create at any given moment. And the Ace of Wands, you could do a lot worse than this, right? This is fantastic. So write, create, move, dance, do everything and anything that you can in your power to really get your ideas out, but also to use your energy in a way that allows you to stay in control of it rather than it's, you know, getting the better of you. So what do you need to release in order to make this a reality? You've got the Judgment card, right? So this basically says that some aspect of our lives that we have been through, that we have experienced, that has happened for us, is now ready to come to an end. Remember, the Judgment card is always where something comes to a close, where something comes to its natural completion or an end, right? It's that final judgment call. But it also precedes massive changes. And the fact that we've got this as what we need to release, there is a big moment in your past, right? Maybe it's your trauma or your big thing. There's a big moment in your past, a big drawback, a big question mark that was never really fully answered, or a cycle that was never really fully completed. This is coming back for you this month, over the course of the autumn. This is coming up for you. It may be a little bit painful. I'm going to be really honest. It may be painful. It may be shocking. It may be startling. It might even feel, you know, a little bit dark. Right, but this is coming up so that it can be assimilated and released. And once you let go of it, once you finish, you know, once you answer the question mark, once you what's the word? You know, once you end the cycle, right? It's done. It's truly done this time. You know, there'll be no more coming back to it. This is where it ends, but you're going to have to find that inner energy. You're going to have to action this, right? And to get it done, to see it through to completion for once and for all. And then finally, for you wonderful Gemini people, you have the Eight of Cups. This is where your energies are best spent. Moving away from your disappointments, moving away from anything or anyone that has maybe challenged you in a way that isn't actually beneficial for you. This is about moving away from people that have hurt you in some way, shape or form. And it's not, you know, oh, you hurt me, so I'm just going to turn the cold shoulder and walk. This is about really assessing and evaluating how somebody treats you, what they actually do to demonstrate how they really care about you. This is about all of your connections, you know, whether they're personal, professional, platonic. This is about you being very clear about this stuff and really saying to yourself, right, okay, I need to look at the quality of the connection that I'm getting from this person, right? And this is about you saying to yourself, I'm drawing this line in the sand, and if I feel I'm worth more or I'm better deserving of whatever it is that is on offer, then I'm going to take that path. path. You know, this is very powerful. Your energies are best spent at this moment in time addressing whatever causes an emotional imbalance for you. And then finally, for your what you need to do to make this a reality, what you need to release to make it a reality, the old structures in your life, the old ways, methods, ideologies that no longer hold weight, that are either just holding you back or holding you down. Maybe the traditions in your life that you have been linked to or tied to, and this could go back quite far into your history as well. It's really interesting that for all of the air signs, the message seems to be about your deep past, like the childhood, the teenagehood, you know, the early sort of very early 20s, you know, late teens, early 20s. It kind of feels like around that energy, around that time. So it looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff coming up for the air signs around that kind of energy. For you, Gemini, this is about the old ties, the old structures, the old beliefs, the old traditions that are just outdated and outmoded, that don't actually serve anymore, and if anything they are just holding you back. This is about you letting go of this idea that you know, maybe you have to stay in the marriage because, you know, until the kids are a certain age, or, you know, all of that kind of stuff. This is where it comes to a close. This is what you're supposed to release over this season. So allow it to go through its natural completion, right? And be ready to walk when the time comes, whatever that means to you. And then finally, for the key to the season, what is the season trying to teach the air signs in general? And we have, okay, so that one seemed to want out. We've got the Tower card, right? So the season wants to teach you how to think on your feet, how to be quick, how to be nimble. This is something that all air signs are very good at anyway. They're adaptable, they're movable, they're changeable like the wind. And this is about upsetting the apple cart, upsetting your life, changing the structures, changing the ideas, changing your mind, changing your understanding of yourself and the world, changing your future by allowing whatever it is that you maybe left unfinished, unsaid, incomplete, unresolved in your you know, in your childhood, in your late teens, your early 20s, all of that sort of stuff. You are about to get a big realization about who you are and who you can be, providing you are ready, willing and able to let go of what you were and who you were, right? And that doesn't mean you have to completely throw the baby out with the bathwater. It just means that some part of your past is now ready to be released. And very often, I believe that when we are ready to release something in that way, the internal space and energy that it frees up for us is immense. All right, so that's what I've got for you for this season. I hope it serves you well. Let me know in the comments below. Do you love it? Do you loathe it? What works for you? What doesn't? I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic time of it. Take care, and I'll see you soon.